hate it. It makes me sick. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them.
They've killed hundreds of us!
And we've killed thousands of them! Toothless, no! She's a friend! You all need to see this. I'm not one of them.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hey, you're right.
I'm good, thanks. Welcome to Popcorn Podcast. We're so delighted to have you here.
Thank you.
It's so exciting to see this world of How to Train Your Dragon come to life. I saw it a few days ago and I just walked out with a huge smile on my face. It's like you've all just stepped right out of the animation. But how does it feel stepping into such a beloved franchise that has such a huge fan base?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously you have to keep like an eye on that in terms of you don't want to destroy what so many talented people have brought to life in the first place. And you know, I'm aware that it's a really well-loved kind of franchise and trilogy. But I think you have to kind of leave that at the door in a sense. As long as you respect that, I think you're cool to move ahead and make something. Yes, it's How to Train Your Dragon, but it's, you know, as soon as I had meetings with Dean, he's like, what should we do? What, you know, you're cool. You can do whatever. It's like, wow, well, this is, you know, to be given that amount of trust is a treat for me, you know.
And isn't that wonderful coming from someone who has had ownership over this franchise for the last decade?
Yeah. I've said a couple of times this week, like, if he had said, can you kind of do what Craig did? I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. Okay, I'm all right with that, you know. But also, when you start working with Mason and Jerry and the kids, they're not kids, but, you know, the trainees, and they're all fun and they're smart and they're great actors and they're like, what should we do? What do you fancy? You know, and everyone's just up for having a laugh. And the whole job was one of those things where you're like, I always tell whether or not I like a job by at what time I get my set bag together. So if I get ready for the next day, the night before, then I know I'm enjoying it, you know?
You must be a glutton for punishment, because then you're also jumping into the universe that is Harry Potter as Hagrid very soon.
Yeah, no, I just, look, I think it's the last getting this, and then, you know, I made my own film Getaway, which I wrote, and then getting cast as Hagrid. It's been like an enchanted 18 months, you know.
How did it feel having director Dean and Gerard, like you said, who are both so familiar with this How to Train Your Dragon world, to help guide things on set? Yeah,
I mean, Dean is like the nicest, smartest. He just, we were listening to him talking yesterday about the film, and he's just he has so much love for it. He's so passionate about it, you know. It's just lovely hearing him talk about it, you know. He'd sometimes show us bits of the animated film and say, well, this is where we're kind of headed. Just chatting with him and Jerry, and there wasn't any kind of hangover from, they were just happy to make what we were making, you know.
We're sort of living in the world of live action remakes at the moment, aren't we? And people love to argue about the pros and cons of that. But what will people love about visiting the world of Berk in this way?
I think it's just beautiful. You know, I think what Bill Pope did as the DOP and all the actors are just incredible. And then the dragons are amazing too. I was always like, I think really my only question to Dean was, how are you going to take something which is animated and then reanimate it in a live action format, but make it look like a real animal? You know, I was always quite fascinated about how they did that. But they did it, you know. Dean yesterday said that Hiccup is like a cross between a Black Panther and a salamander. And then when you watch the film, it's like, God, yeah, he's exactly that, you know?
Yeah.
They've done a really amazing job of making those things which aren't real, sorry to break your heart if they're not real, into real creatures.
Yeah, it must have demystified it when you stepped on set and just saw these giant heads kind of coming at you on a stick. Is that?
Yeah. Well, look, yes and no. I've got to say, you know, in the defense of the puppeteers, it's, those heads were just like massive pieces of polystyrene, I guess, like, you know.
Yeah.
But there was such a softness to their performance that you totally got that they are dragons, you know. It makes it really easy.
Nico Parker and Mason Thames are absolutely killing it in everything they do at the moment, and they're still so young. What's it like working with such incredible talents when you're seeing them on the rise like that?
Oh, I hate it. It makes me sick. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them. They're just beautiful actors and lovely people, and I just hate it.
You're like, why, look, God? Why are they so beautiful and talented?
Why, yeah. Why am I not that?
No,
look, I think it's nice to work with good people. It's nice to work with nice people, and when you see good, nice people succeed in, I kind of think, yeah, good on you, you know. There's a lot of rat bags, and it's often not the case that great people do well, but when they do, it's like, yeah, good, this is great.
I mean, it's a real testament to Mason, because as soon as the narration began at the beginning of the film, I just thought, oh, they're going to nail this. I knew straight away before I even saw anything, and I just heard Mason's narration. I thought, this sounds perfect. He's got this, and then we just went on the ride, and it was fantastic.
Well, sometimes on set, I just like glance over at him, and I'm like, there's Hiccup. That's Hiccup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the way he stood, or he's got such a physicality about him in terms of the way he moves. I was like, that's exactly what Hiccup does, you know?
It was fantastic. I understand you mentioned you had knee surgery, which changed the leg that Gobber is missing. But what did that mean? What did that mean for the practicalities of filming for you, though? Like, hopefully you weren't hobbling around in pain on set. Were you not fully recovered?
So I was due to have my left knee replaced.
Yeah. Okay.
And the operation was like in a week's time. And then I got the job. I got cast as Gobber. And so Dean said to me, look, don't have the operation, and let's use use the fact you've got no left knee as a physical motivation for Gobber's own own lack of a limb. But as soon as we
delay it a bit.
Yeah, as soon as we wrapped, I had it done then. So the second film will be the one that's me really acting then, the second film. So the first one, you see me hobbling around and in agony. That's absolutely real.
So there's definitely a second one in the works. Actually, I know that they've announced that already. They have announced that. Yeah, absolutely. So exciting. If you could actually train a dragon, what would be its most Nick Frost-like quality?
I think it would be a bit cheeky, like a seal, like a big seal. You know, I think seals are quite cheeky. I think it would be cheeky.
Did you have a name for it?
Cheekysaurus.
Cheekysaurus. I like it. Before I let you go, Nick, this has been wonderful to speak with you. We're all about celebrating the joy of cinema at Popcorn Podcast. Is there a moment in a film or a film itself that you can remember bringing you just so much joy when you were sitting in the cinema watching it?
Well, I always think about Indiana Jones. That brings me loads of joy. But my favorite film is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
And there's a shot in that whenever I watch it, I always kind of punch the air, and it's just after he's in his van and the van turns upside down and you can see all the things shaking in the street, and then the lights come back up and he drives off, and then there's a big wide shot of his little van crossing through a field, driving through a field. Yeah. And then a giant shadow of a spacecraft just whooshes across, and every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my God!
Yeah, goosebumps.
I love that. I love it.
What a great choice. Thank you so much, Nick, and congratulations on How to Train Your Dragon. I can't wait to see the second one.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks very much.